Hello everyone. In this lesson, we're going to focus on one of the most critical communication topics in business and service environments: understanding customer expectations. Whether you work in customer service, sales, education, healthcare, IT, management, or freelancing, one truth never changes. Customers are not disappointed because of mistakes. They are disappointed because reality didn't match their expectations. So today, our goal is to understand what customer expectations really are, where they come from, and how your communication directly shapes them. What are customer expectations? Customer expectations are the assumptions, beliefs, and hopes customers have about what they will receive, how they will be treated, how fast things will happen, how problems will be handled. And here's something very important to understand. Customers don't always clearly say their expectations, but they always feel them. Simple example. Imagine you order food online. You expect it to be hot. You expect it to arrive on time. You expect the delivery person to be polite. You expect the app to show accurate tracking. If one of these fails, frustration appears, even if the food itself tastes great. That frustration is not about the food. It's about expectations not being met. Where do customer expectations come from? Let's break this down clearly. Previous experiences. Customers compare everything with their past experiences. Example, a customer says, "Last time your colleague solved this in 10 minutes. Now that 10 minutes becomes the new standard, even if it was an exception." Brand promises and marketing messages. What your company says creates expectations. Example, if a website says 24/7 instant support, then waiting 15 minutes already feels like a failure, even if it's reasonable. Industry standards. Customers compare you with competitors, not with your internal rules. Example, I can return products for free on other websites. Why not here? Personal needs and emotions. Sometimes expectations are emotional, not logical. Example, a frustrated customer doesn't just want a refund. They want to be heard, to feel respected, to feel that their time matters. The role of communication in shaping expectations. Here is a powerful truth I want you to remember. You don't just manage expectations, you create them through communication. Words create reality. Let's look at two different responses to the same situation. Response A, we'll check and get back to you. Response B, I'll personally check this and update you within 2 hours. Which one feels more reassuring? The second one creates a clear time frame, a sense of ownership, a feeling of reliability. Clear communication equals realistic expectations. Explicit versus implicit expectations. Explicit expectations. These are clearly stated. Examples. I want this delivered by Friday. I need a refund. Please call me back today. These are easy because they are spoken. Implicit expectations. These are unspoken and they are more dangerous. Examples. Expecting politeness, expecting empathy, expecting transparency, expecting respect. Example. A customer says, I'm really disappointed. What they might actually expect: an apology, understanding, a sincere explanation. If you ignore the emotional message and focus only on procedures, expectations remain unmet. Common customer expectations across industries. Let's look at expectations that appear almost everywhere. Being listened to, quick response times, clear and honest information, consistency, fairness, empathy, problem ownership. Example, when a customer hears, "That's not my department," they feel, no one is taking responsibility. Even if it's technically true, it violates expectations. Expectation gaps, where problems begin. An expectation gap happens when what the customer expects and what the customer receives do not match. Example, customer expectation: this issue will be solved today. Reality, we'll investigate and respond in 3 business days. If this gap is not communicated early and clearly, dissatisfaction is guaranteed. How to understand customer expectations effectively. Here are practical communication techniques you can start using immediately. Ask clarifying questions. Never assume. Examples. What outcome would be ideal for you? When do you need this resolved? What's the most important part of this for you? Listen for emotional signals. Words matter, but tone matters more. Examples. Honestly, I'm tired of explaining this. I just want this to be over. These signal emotional expectations, not technical ones. Reflect and confirm. Repeat expectations in your own words. Example, just to make sure I understood correctly, you expect an update by tomorrow and a permanent solution by Friday. Is that right? This single sentence prevents many conflicts. Managing expectations, not overpromising. One of the biggest mistakes professionals make is overpromising to please the customer. Bad example. Yes, no problem, we can do that today, when you're not sure. Better example. I want to be honest with you. The fastest realistic timeline is tomorrow afternoon, and I'll keep you updated. Customers value honesty over unrealistic optimism. Turning expectations into trust. When expectations are clearly understood, clearly communicated, consistently met, trust naturally follows. And trust leads to loyalty, positive reviews, repeat business, fewer conflicts. Mini reflection for you. Take a moment and think about this. When was the last time you felt disappointed as a customer? Was it really about the mistake or about unmet expectations? How could better communication have changed that experience? This reflection will help you empathize and become a stronger communicator. Final thought. Let me leave you with this. Great customer communication is not about saying yes to everything. It's about creating clear, honest, and human expectations, and then honoring them. At some point in your professional life, whether you work in customer service, sales, support, healthcare, education, or management, you will face an angry or dissatisfied customer. This is not a failure. In fact, how you handle these moments often defines your professionalism more than how you handle easy situations. In this lesson, I want you to think of angry customers not as problems, but as opportunities to demonstrate calm, empathy, and competence. Why customers get angry? It's not always about you. Before we talk about techniques, we must understand why customers get angry. Most anger comes from one or more of these sources. Unmet expectations. This is not what I was promised. Feeling ignored or disrespected. Time pressure or stress. Previous bad experiences. Lack of control or uncertainty. Important reminder for you as a professional. Anger is usually directed at the situation, not at you personally. When you remember this, it becomes much easier to stay calm. Your first goal, de-escalation, not winning. When a customer is angry, your goal is not to prove them wrong, to defend yourself immediately, to explain company policy right away. Your first and most important goal is lower the emotional intensity of the conversation. Only after emotions cool down can logic and solutions work. Stay calm and control your own emotions. Anger is contagious. If you respond emotionally, the situation escalates. What to do? Speak slowly and clearly. Lower your voice instead of raising it. Take a breath before responding. Keep your body language open. Even on the phone, your tone matters. Example, customer, this is ridiculous. I've been waiting for days and nobody cares. Unhelpful response. That's not true. We answered your email. Professional response. I can hear how frustrating this has been for you. Let's take a moment and look at what went wrong. Step 2. Listen actively without interrupting. Most angry customers want one thing first, to be heard. Active listening means let them finish speaking. Do not interrupt. Avoid preparing your defense while they talk. Acknowledge their feelings. Powerful phrases. I understand why you're upset. Thank you for explaining the situation. I can see how this caused frustration. Example, customer. I've called 3 times already and nothing has been solved. You. Thank you for telling me that. I understand why you're upset after calling multiple times without a solution. Notice, you are not admitting fault yet, but you are validating their experience. Show empathy, even if you disagree. Empathy does not mean agreeing with everything the customer says. It means acknowledging their feelings. Compare these 2 responses. That's our policy. I understand how this policy feels unfair in your situation. Empathy creates trust. Trust reduces anger. Apologize appropriately. Many professionals fear apologizing because they think it means admitting legal or personal fault. That's not always true. You can apologize for the inconvenience, the experience, the frustration, safe and professional apology examples. I'm sorry for the inconvenience this has caused. I apologize that your experience didn't meet your expectations. I'm sorry you had to go through this. These apologies acknowledge impact, not blame. Ask clarifying questions. Once the customer is calmer, shift toward understanding details. Good questions. Can you walk me through what happened? When did this issue first occur? What outcome were you expecting? Avoid accusatory questions like, why didn't you read the instructions? Why didn't you contact us earlier? Your tone should signal cooperation, not interrogation. Offer solutions, not excuses. Customers want solutions more than explanations. Structure your response like this. Summarize the issue. Present clear options. Ask for agreement. Example: let me make sure I understand correctly. Your order arrived late and incomplete. Here are two options I can offer: a replacement shipped today or a full refund. Which works better for you? This gives the customer a sense of control, a clear path forward, confidence in your professionalism. Handling extreme anger or aggression. Sometimes customers cross boundaries. If a customer becomes abusive, stay calm. Set boundaries respectfully. Example: I want to help you, but I can't do that while being spoken to this way. Let's keep the conversation respectful so we can solve the issue. If necessary, escalate to a supervisor. End the conversation politely but firmly. Your well-being matters too. Turning dissatisfaction into loyalty. Here's something important I want you to remember. Customers who have a problem and see it resolved well often become more loyal than customers who never had a problem at all. A calm, respectful, solution-oriented response can restore trust, improve brand perception, create long-term loyalty. Practical role-play example. Scenario: customer: I'm extremely disappointed. This service is a waste of money. Professional response: I'm really sorry to hear that you feel this way. I'd like to understand what went wrong so we can fix it. Can you tell me what disappointed you the most? This response acknowledges emotion, avoids defensiveness, invites collaboration. Key takeaways for you. Let's summarize what I want you to internalize. Angry customers are emotional, not personal. Your calmness is your strongest tool. Listening comes before solving. Empathy reduces tension. Solutions build trust. Respectful boundaries protect professionalism. As you continue this course, I encourage you to practice these techniques consciously. The more you practice, the more natural they become. Handling angry customers is not about talent. It's about skill, awareness, and emotional control. You're not just solving problems. You're representing professionalism under pressure, and that's a powerful skill to have. Complaints are something many people fear. When we hear a complaint, our first reaction is often stress, defensiveness, or even frustration. But here's the key mindset shift I want you to make today. A complaint is not a threat. A complaint is feedback in disguise. When handled correctly, complaints can strengthen customer trust, improve products and services, turn angry customers into loyal advocates, differentiate you from competitors. Let's break this down step by step. Why complaints are actually valuable. Most unhappy customers do not complain. They simply leave. So when someone does complain, they are giving you something precious, a second chance. Think of a complaint as a free quality audit, a real-world user test, an emotional insight into customer expectations. Example: a customer says, "Your support team took too long to respond." What this really means is, the customer expected faster service. They cared enough to speak up. They still want a relationship with your company. That's an opportunity, not a failure. The wrong way to handle complaints, what to avoid. Before learning what to do, let's be clear about what not to do. Avoid defending yourself immediately, interrupting the customer, saying, "That's our policy," minimizing the issue, "It's not a big deal," blaming others or systems. Poor response example. Customer: I've been waiting for 3 days for a reply. Agent: We're very busy right now. Everyone is waiting. This response dismisses the customer's feelings, escalates frustration, misses the opportunity to build trust. The opportunity mindset. reframing complaints. To turn complaints into opportunities, you must reframe how you see them. Instead of thinking, "This customer is difficult," think, "This customer is giving me insight." Instead of, "This is a problem," think, "This is a chance to improve and impress." This mindset change affects your tone, body language, and word choice. The 5-step framework to turn complaints into opportunities. Let's use a clear, repeatable structure you can apply in any situation. Step 1. Listen fully and actively. Let the customer speak without interruption. Use short acknowledgements like, "I see," "I understand," "Please go on." This alone often reduces anger. Step 2. Acknowledge feelings, not just facts. You don't need to agree with the complaint to validate emotions. Example, "I understand why this situation is frustrating for you." This shows empathy, not weakness. Step 3. Clarify the real issue. Ask calm, neutral questions. "Can you walk me through what happened? What was the outcome you expected?" This helps you move from emotion to solution. Step 4. Take ownership and offer a solution. Ownership builds trust. Example, "Let me take responsibility for resolving this." Then explain clearly what you can do. Step 5. Follow up and close the loop. This is where opportunities truly appear. Example, "I'll personally make sure this is resolved today and follow up with you." Many professionals skip this step. Don't. Turning a complaint into loyalty. Real-life scenarios. Scenario 1. Late delivery. Customer, "My order arrived late. This is unacceptable." Response, "You're absolutely right to expect timely delivery. I apologize for the delay. I'll check what caused this and make sure it doesn't happen again. As a thank you for your patience, I'd like to offer you a discount on your next order." Result, customer feels heard. Company shows accountability. Relationship improves. Scenario 2. Poor service experience. Customer, "The staff member I spoke to yesterday was rude." Response, "Thank you for telling us. That's not the experience we want anyone to have. I appreciate you bringing this to our attention, and I'll address it immediately." Opportunity. Improve internal training. Strengthen service culture. Show commitment to quality. Scenario 3. Product issue. Customer, "This product didn't meet my expectations." Instead of arguing, say, "I'm glad you shared this with us. Your feedback helps us improve. May I ask which part didn't meet your expectations?" Now the complaint becomes product development input. Language that turns complaints into opportunities. Here are phrases that transform tension into collaboration. "Thank you for bringing this to us. I appreciate your honesty. Let's find a solution together. Your feedback helps us improve. I'll personally follow up on this." These phrases signal respect, responsibility, and professionalism. Complaints as a competitive advantage. Most companies handle complaints poorly. If you handle them well, you stand out immediately. Customers remember how you made them feel, how quickly you responded, whether you took responsibility. A well-handled complaint often creates stronger loyalty than a problem-free experience. Reflection exercise for you. Think about the last complaint you received, how you reacted emotionally, what you could do differently using today's framework. Ask yourself, how can I turn the next complaint into a moment of trust building? Final thought. Dear friends, complaints are not interruptions to your work. They are part of your work. When you listen carefully, respond empathetically, and act responsibly, complaints stop being problems and start becoming powerful opportunities for growth, for you, your team, and your organization. In this lesson of our communication skills course, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful outcomes of effective communication, building customer trust through communication. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Customers don't trust companies, they trust people. And trust is not built by fancy slogans, discounts, or promises. Trust is built conversation by conversation. Let's break this down step by step, with plenty of real-life examples you can actually use in your professional life. What does customer trust really mean? Customer trust means that a customer believes you are honest, you are competent, you genuinely care about their needs, you will keep your promises, you will handle problems fairly. Trust answers the silent question every customer has in their mind. Can I rely on you? If the answer is yes, customers stay, recommend you, forgive mistakes, and even pay more. Why communication is the foundation of trust. Trust does not appear automatically. It is created through communication behaviors such as what you say, how you say it, when you say it, what you don't say, how you act when things go wrong. A company can have a great product, but poor communication destroys trust instantly. Example: a delayed delivery plus clear, honest communication trust can survive. A delayed delivery plus silence or excuses trust collapses. Key communication principles that build customer trust. Be clear and transparent. Customers trust clarity. They lose trust when things feel vague, confusing, or hidden. Poor communication. We are looking into the issue. Trust-building communication. I see the issue clearly. The shipment was delayed due to a system error. It will arrive tomorrow by 3 p.m. Transparency means explaining what happened, explaining what will happen next, avoiding unnecessary jargon. If something is uncertain, say so honestly. At the moment, I don't have the final answer, but I will update you by tomorrow at noon. Keep your promises, or don't make them. Nothing destroys trust faster than broken promises. Bad habit. I'll call you back in an hour. No call ever happens. Trust-building habit. I will call you back by 4 p.m. today. And you actually do. If you realize you can't keep a promise, I want to update you honestly. I won't be able to resolve this today as planned. I'll need one more day, and I'll explain why. Customers respect honesty more than perfection. Listen actively, not just politely. Listening is one of the strongest trust signals. Active listening means not interrupting, acknowledging emotions, reflecting back what you heard. Customer: I'm really frustrated because this keeps happening. Weak response: okay, let's check your account. Trust-building response: I understand why you're frustrated. If this keeps happening, I'd feel the same way. Let's look at what's causing it. When customers feel heard, trust increases immediately. Show empathy before solutions. Many professionals rush to solve the problem and forget the person, but customers trust people who understand first, then solve. Cold response: this is our policy. Empathetic response: I understand why this situation is upsetting for you. Let me explain what we can do within our policy. Empathy does not mean agreeing with the customer. It means acknowledging their feelings. Trust-building language. What to say and avoid. Use trust-building phrases. Let me be honest with you. Here's what I can do for you. I will take responsibility for this. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Avoid trust-damaging language. That's not my problem. You should have known. This is company policy. Nothing I can do. Calm down. Your tone matters as much as your words. Building trust when things go wrong. Mistakes are inevitable. Loss of trust is optional. Step-by-step trust recovery communication. Acknowledge the issue. You're right, this shouldn't have happened. Take responsibility. This was our mistake. Apologize sincerely. I'm truly sorry for the inconvenience. Explain the solution. Here's how we're fixing it. Prevent future issues. We're updating our process so this doesn't happen again. Customers often trust companies more after a well-handled problem than after a perfect experience. Consistency, the silent trust builder. Trust is not built in one great conversation. It's built through consistent communication over time. Customers trust you when your answers don't change randomly, your tone stays respectful, your service quality feels predictable, your values show up in every interaction. Consistency creates psychological safety. I know what to expect from you. Real-life scenario practice. Scenario: billing issue. Customer: I was charged twice and no one is helping me. Trust-damaging response: you'll need to contact billing. Trust-building response: I understand how concerning that is. Let me take ownership of this and coordinate with billing for you. I'll update you within 2 hours. Notice the difference: ownership, empathy, clear next step, time commitment. Final thoughts for you as a professional. Let me leave you with this. Customers may forget what you said. They will never forget how safe they felt communicating with you. Trust is built when customers feel respected, understood, informed, valued. And the good news is this: Trust is a communication skill, and skills can be learned.